I'm making some Vietnamese summer rolls and wondered if you wanted to join me while I make them. I've made a video on this before and they're just really, really good to make and they're very inexpensive, probably about 2 or 3 points a piece. Let me show you some of my ingredients first. I'm using a rice paper wrapper. In case you're not familiar with these, I think it's 1 point for one sheet. It kind of looks like plastic, but it needs to be soaked in water because it breaks into a million pieces. Get that out of the way. So I've got my water here. Normally I would be soaking these in my kitchen sink, but for the video I'll put them in here. It's the same size as my rice paper wrapper. In here I've got some smoked tofu, I've got some shredded lettuce and red peppers. I've got some English cucumber. I picked the English cucumber because I like the green on the outside. It adds some color. And I've got some slivered red cabbage, some celery. I've got some spinach. And here I'm using vermicelli noodles. If you're not familiar with these, they're made out of the same thing as the rice paper wrapper. It comes hard like this. And all I did was pour some boiling water over this to soak it. I'm just going to drain that now. And I'm going to be adding this into my rice paper wrapper as I make the rolls. Oops. For my dipping sauce, I have some tamari. You can use any kind of soy sauce. And I also have some Sambal oelek. It's called the same thing in the US. Sambal oelek is a hot chili pepper sauce. I'm going to be mixing those two together, and I'll show you how I do that as I get to the end of my workspace here. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to keep one hand dry, and one hand is going to be wet. If I'm using both of my hands in this, then I'm going to be transferring wet hands in here, and everything's going to stick together. I'm going to get a bit of an assembly line going as well. So I'm going to put this one in here. It's just normal tap water. It doesn't have to be hot water or cold water. It's just regular water. And I layer mine down. See, my dry hand is taking it out. I layer mine in two just because I find it so much easier to roll my Vietnamese summer rolls. Bring it right to the edge here. So you can see it's softened up a bit. Dry hand in. Take it out with my wet hand. It's much easier if you have an assembly line going rather than making one at a time and filling it and then making another one at a time. Move this over. I'll make 4 because there's a 2 of us. Dry hand, wet hand takes it. Now I've got a little bit of a nick on this one. You can see here. I'll put that on the inside. There we go. Take this off with my dry hand. Now I'll start to layer in my ingredients. I want to bring everything to the edge here. So I've got my tofu. There we go. Load in my lettuce. It's just iceberg lettuce. I try to pick things here that are colorful because, as we all know, we eat with our eyes. The red pepper really makes the colors pop. Like I said, I've got the green on the skin from the English cucumber. My purple cabbage. I cut this with my mandolin so it's shaved nice and finely. Oops. Celery. And I've got some spinach I'm going to add in here. This is a little longer than most of my videos. It just takes a while to put these together. And then, of course, my noodles. These feel kind of slimy. Okay, now as I roll these, I'm going to pull everything toward me as I roll this. Every culture has a kind of food that they wrap. Mexicans wrap their burritos. Ukrainians wrap their cabbage rolls. Pulling this toward me. Oops, I got a split there. Okay. I'm going to tuck my ends in. I'll be perfectly honest, the first few times I did this, they looked terrible. But after you do them a few times, then they get really easy. Here's one that's pretty big. Okay. Again, I'm pulling this toward me. All of the ingredients, I'm trying to tighten them up here. There we go. Tuck in my ends. If you have a little bit of your food product in the ends, just fold it right in there too. There we go. And then the last one. Pulling this toward me. I'll tuck everything in nice and tight. There we go. Tuck in my ends. Okay, now I like to cut this on the diagonal, just only for the presentation. So you can see it's nice and colorful inside. And my last one. Now for my sauce, a little bit of tamari. The difference between tamari and soy sauce is soy sauce generally has wheat in it. Tamari is fermented longer and it's only made from soya. Just mix that up. And that's it. How's that look? Doesn't look too bad. Thanks for watching. My name's Jill. Have a great day.